The rain hammered the city streets like it was trying to wash away the ghosts I thought I'd left behind. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, the screen glowing with a number I hadn't seen in 5 years, one that still made my stomach twist. Alex Harper. The voice on the other end said, rough and broken, belonging to Sheriff Jordan Hale, the man who'd once sworn to run me out of Eden Falls for good. I know you hate me, but God help me. I need you to come home. I hung up without a word, my heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped animal. The apartment in Seattle felt too small suddenly, the walls closing in with memories I'd buried under bar shifts and anonymous hookups that never quite filled the void. Eden Falls, that speck of a town in rural Washington, where the evergreens loomed like judgmental sentinels and the river ran cold as the stairs that had driven me away. The rumor had started innocently enough, a whisper at the county fair that I'd tempted Tommy Riley, the Golden Boy quarterback, into something unnatural. By week's end, it was a wildfire. I was the predator, the outsider who'd corrupted their perfect slice of Americana. Tommy denied it, of course, but the damage was done. My parents, devout churchgoers, had looked at me like I'd betrayed them personally. Friends vanished. And Jordan Hale, with his badge and his broad shoulders and that unyielding jaw, had pulled me over one night, his eyes burning with something I couldn't name. Disgust, maybe, or worse. Leave, Harper, he'd growled, his breath fogging the cruiser window. Before you drag this town down with you. I'd packed a duffel and hit the highway before dawn, vowing never to look back. Seattle had been my reinvention, a graphic design gig at a startup, a circle of queer friends who laughed off small-town scars over craft beers, a therapist who helped me unpack the shame without judgment. But Jordan's call cracked it all open. It's about your brother, he'd said before I could hang up. Elliot's in trouble. Real trouble. And you're the only one who can fix it. Elliot, my little brother, the one bright spot in that mess of a family, now 20 and floundering in the same town that had chewed me up. I stared at the ceiling, the rain's rhythm mocking my indecision. Elliot had been 12 when I left, all gangly limbs and hero worship, sneaking me comics under the dinner table while Mom preached about sin. We'd shared secrets in the treehouse behind the old barn, him confiding his first crush on a boy from school, me promising I'd shield him from the world's cruelty. If he was in trouble, I couldn't stay away, not even for the man who'd made my exile feel like justice. By morning, I'd booked a flight to Spokane, then a rental car for the 3-hour drive east. The Cascades gave way to rolling hills dotted with farms, the air thickening with pine and regret as Eden Falls came into view, its single stoplight, the faded welcome sign promising a place to call home. Ironic that. My hands gripped the wheel tighter when I passed the Rylas Ranch, Tommy's truck still parked out front like a relic. He was married now. I knew from Facebook stalks I regretted. 2 kids. A life that screamed normalcy. The motel on the edge of town was a squat brick building with neon vacancy flickering like a bad omen. I checked in under a fake name at first, old habits, then corrected myself with a bitter laugh. This was homecoming, not hiding. My room smelled of mildew and microwave popcorn, the bed sagging under my weight as I texted Elliot. Landed. Where are you? No reply. I paced, scrolling through old photos. Us at the river, skipping stones. Him at prom. Tux crisp, date a girl but eyes on the boy across the gym. He'd come out last year. I knew. A drunken voicemail slurring pride and fear. I'd sent money for PFLAG meetings in Spokane, but distance dulled the edges. A knock rattled the door. I froze, half expecting ghosts. It was Jordan, silhouetted against the hallway light, hat in hand, his uniform crisp but his face haggard, lines etched deeper than I remembered. At 35, he looked every bit the authority figure. Tall, built like he wrestled bears for fun, dark hair cropped close, eyes a stormy gray that pinned you in place. But there was no badge gleaming now, just a man, shoulders slumped. Alex, he said, voice low, like saying my name cost him. You came. Don't sound so surprised. I stepped aside, letting him in, the room shrinking with his presence. He smelled of rain and leather, a scent that tugged at forbidden memories. Nights I'd watched him patrol the fairgrounds, wondering what hid behind that wall of righteousness. He set his hat on the dresser, running a hand through his hair. Elliot. He's mixed up with some bad folks. Drugs, maybe worse. Your folks are at their wits' end, but they won't say it. Church keeps him quiet. And you? What's your stake in dragging me back? I crossed my arms, leaning against the wall, the old anger bubbling up. Last time we spoke, you were pretty clear on where I stood in this town. His jaw tightened, gaze dropping to the carpet. That was then. Things change. A pause, heavy as the storm outside. Look, I didn't call for a fight. Elliot trusts you. Always has. He's holed up at the old mill, won't talk to anyone else. The mill, rusted relic by the river, where we'd smoked our first cigarettes and dreamed of escape. I nodded, grabbing my keys. Lead the way. The drive was silent, wipers slapping rhythmically, the town blurring past, the diner where waitresses still gossiped about my phase, the high school football field where Tommy's legend lingered. Jordan gripped the wheel, knuckles white, stealing glances I pretended not to notice. What had changed him? The voice on the phone had cracked, vulnerable, almost pleading. Not the sheriff who'd once cornered me in the station, lecturing on morality while his eyes lingered too long. We parked at the trailhead, mud sucking at our boots as we hiked the overgrown path. The mill loomed through the mist, its skeleton groaning in the wind. Elliot, I called, voice echoing off the water. A rustle from the shadows. Then he emerged, thinner, eyes hollow, flannel torn at the sleeve. Alex. His face crumpled, and he lunged into my arms, the boy I'd left clinging like a lifeline. I screwed up. Big time. We sat on a rotted beam, Jordan keeping watch at a distance, his silhouette a reluctant guardian. Elliot spilled it in fits. A party gone wrong. Whispers of dealing to pay for college dreams crushed by Dad's lectures on fixing his orientation. They found out about me and Jake, the mechanics kid. Said it was a phase, but then the rumors started again. Like with you. My blood ran cold. The same poison, recycled. Jake, 17, I'd bet, with that shy smile and grease-stained hands. Who started it this time? Elliot shrugged, wiping his nose. Doesn't matter. Town's the same. Jordan's been trying to help, but... I shot a look at the sheriff, who met it steadily, no trace of the old fire. Why him? I asked Elliot later, as we trudged back, Jordan trailing. He's different now? After his divorce, Lila left him for that artist in Spokane. Said he was too closed off. He's been going to those meetings. The ones for us. My step faltered. Jordan Hale, at a queer support group? The man who'd enforced every homophobic code in Eden Falls. It didn't compute, but the puzzle pieces shifted, hinting at fractures I'd never seen. That night, over greasy burgers at the diner, Elliot devouring his like a starved wolf, Jordan slid into the booth across from me. You sticking around? His tone was casual, but his eyes searched mine, hungry for something unspoken. For Elliot, I said, dipping a fry in ketchup. That's it. He nodded, but his fingers drummed the table, betraying the calm. Fair enough, but if you need anything. I won't. The words came sharper than intended, slicing the air. The waitress, Marla, older now, lines around her eyes, eyed us curiously, her pen hovering over the notepad. Whispers would start by morning. The prodigal son returns, cozying up to the law. Elliot excused himself to the bathroom, leaving us in charged silence. Jordan leaned in, voice dropping. I was wrong, Alex. Back then. About a lot. Heat flushed my neck. Anger, or the ghost of attraction I'd squashed years ago. Words are cheap, Sheriff. You gonna arrest the rumors this time? His laugh was low, bitter. Tried. Can't arrest fear. A beat, then quieter. Or regret. I pushed my plate away, appetite gone. Regret. The word hung between us, thick as the fog rolling in from the river. What did he regret? Chasing me out. Or something deeper, like the way his hand had brushed mine once, years back, during a traffic stop that lingered too long? Sleep evaded me that night, the motel's thin walls amplifying the town's nocturnal symphony, distant coyotes, the hum of semis on the highway. My mind replayed the call, Jordan's plea, a crack in the armor that had always intimidated me. In Seattle, I dated men who wore their queerness like badges, activists with rainbow pins, poets who quoted Auden over brunch. Jordan was the opposite, rugged, repressed, the kind of man who'd internalized every sermon until it festered. By dawn, resolve hardened. I'd stay a week, sort Elliot's mess, then bolt. But as I watched him sleep on the spare bedroll I'd bought, peaceful for the first time in months, doubt crept in. This town had scarred us both, but maybe it was time to cauterize the wounds. The community center was a squat cinder block building on the outskirts, its parking lot dotted with pickups and a single Prius that screamed outsider. Jordan had mentioned the meetings in passing, but I hadn't expected the turnout. A dozen faces, familiar and strained, gathered in folding chairs under fluorescent bus. Elliot had dragged me here, insisting it's not just talk, it's survival. Mrs. Delaney, the librarian who'd slipped me books on hidden histories back in high school, moderated with quiet steel. "Welcome, Alex," she said, her smile warm but eyes knowing. "We've missed your fire." The circle opened, stories spilling like confessions. Jake's dad, red-faced and trembling, admitting he'd burned his son's coming-out letter. A teacher grappling with her lesbian daughter's elopement to Portland. Then Jordan's turn. He shifted, massive frame dwarfing the chair, voice gravelly. "Name's Jordan. I'm figuring things out. Lost my wife because I couldn't be honest. With her, with myself." A pause, the room holding its breath. I heard someone once. Someone who deserved better. Trying to make it right. His gaze flicked to me, fleeting but electric. My throat tightened, realization dawning like a slow sunrise. The hate in his eyes all those years ago. Not disgust. Denial. The sheriff, enforcer of Eden Falls narrow codes, was one of us. Gay, or bi, or whatever label fit a man who'd married to fit in, patrolled to prove his mettle. Elliot squeezed my knee under the table, whispering, "Told you." Afterward, over coffee in the lobby, stale but communal, Jordan cornered me by the vending machine. "Didn't expect you here." Elliot's pushy. I fed quarters into the slot, the clunk echoing my pulse. "You? This is new." He shrugged, accepting the soda I offered. "Hit rock bottom last year. Lila's gone, town's shrinking, folks leaving for jobs, for acceptance. Woke up one night, realized I'd been running from myself longer than from anything else." The vulnerability in his voice undid me, peeling back layers I'd armored against. "And the rumor? With me?" His face darkened, jaw clenching. "I started it. Not on purpose. Tommy came to me, scared shitless after that kiss at the bonfire. I told him to deny it, play straight. But I let it twist, pointed fingers your way to deflect from what it stirred in me. Confession hung heavy, a bridge or a bomb. I wanted to punch him, to walk away, but the hurt in his eyes mirrored my own. Two boys who'd learned love was a liability in Eden Falls. Before I could respond, the door banged open. Tommy Riley stormed in, face thunderous, wife trailing with a toddler on her hip. "Hale, you got a minute?" Jordan straightened, sheriff mode snapping on. "Riley, what's eating you?" "It's Harper." Tommy jabbed a finger my way, voice rising. "Heard he's back, stirring shit with the kid. Elliot's my nephew's friend. Can't have that influence." The room tensed, eyes darting. Mrs. Delaney stepped forward, calm as a diplomat. "Thomas, this is a safe space. Take it outside." But Tommy wasn't listening, his glare pinning me. "You ruined my life once, queer boy. Don't think you can waltz back." The word landed like a slap, raw and archaic. Jordan moved between us, hand on Tommy's shoulder, firm, unyielding. "Enough. Alex is here for family. You got a problem, take it up with me." Tommy sputtered, deflating under the stare, then muttered something about protecting the town, and stormed out. The toddler wailed, a piercing counterpoint to the silence. Jordan turned to me, apology etched in every line. "I'm sorry. For all of it." I nodded, numb, the weight of history pressing down. But as we filed out into the drizzle, Elliot linking arms with Jake, who'd slipped in quietly, something shifted. This town wasn't just scars, it was soil, fertile for growth if we dared till it. Back at the motel, Elliot crashed early, leaving me and Jordan on the sagging porch, beers cracked from a six-pack he'd smuggled. The river murmured below, fireflies winking like conspirators. "Why'd you really call me?" I asked, the question brewing since landing. He took a long pull, label peeling under his thumb. Elliot's trouble started with Tommy's crew. Kids echoing their dad's bullshit. Needed someone who gets it. Someone I trust now. Trust. I echoed, tasting the word. "After you ran me out?" I was scared. His voice cracked, raw. "Of you." of what you made me feel. That night I pulled you over? Wasn't hate. Was terror. You'd look at me like you saw through the badge, straight to the mess underneath. The admission hung, vulnerable as exposed wire. I set my bottle down, the cool glass grounding me. I saw you, Jordan. Always did. The way you'd linger at the edges of the fair, watching. Not judging, yearning. He met my eyes then, gray depths stormy with unspoken storms. And now. I leaned closer, the air charged, rain pattering like applause. Now, I think we both deserve a chance to stop running. His hand found mine, tentative, calluses rough against my palm. Not a sparkler, but a steady flame, warmth in the chill. We sat like that till midnight, words weaving through silence. His lonely marriage, my city flings that chase shadows, Elliot's quiet courage. No kisses, no rush, just connection, fragile as first light. But Eden Falls doesn't yield easy. Morning brought a summons. Dad at the station, face carved from granite, demanding I straighten out. Elliot before church ruined us all. Jordan mediated, his presence a shield, but the barbs landed. Accusations of corruption, pleas wrapped in scripture. I won't lose another son to this devil's game, Dad growled, eyes wet with fanatic fire. You're losing him to fear. I shot back, voice steady for the first time. Love him, Dad, as he is. He stormed out, the door slamming like judgment. Jordan clapped my shoulder, grip lingering. Proud of you. The warmth spread, thawing old ice. But as we parted, him to patrol, me to check on Elliot, Tommy's truck idled across the street, watchful. Whispers were evolving into threats, the town's underbelly stirring. That afternoon, I met Lena, Jordan's ex-sister-in-law, at the coffee shop, a wiry woman with tattooed arms and a no-nonsense bob, now dating the Prius owner from group. He's a good man, under the rust, she said, stirring cream into her latte. Just took a crowbar to pry it off. We talked escape routes for Elliot, scholarships to Seattle U, maybe a shared apartment. You too, she added, eyeing me. Don't let this place claim you again. But as days blurred, roots tugged. Dinners with Elliot turned confessional. His love for Jake, sweet and stolen in haylofts. My Seattle isolation, bright lights hiding loneliness. Jordan joined sometimes, his laughter loosening knots, stories of boyhood pranks revealing the kid beneath the lawman. One evening, hiking the Ridge Trail, evergreens whispering secrets, we crested a viewpoint, the valley sprawling like a map of regrets. Jordan stopped, breath clouding. Remember the meteor shower? Senior year. You dragged me up here, swore we'd see the end of the world. I chuckled, the memory sharp. You grumbled the whole way. Said sheriffs, don't stargaze. Truth. He turned, face close in the twilight. But I stayed. Because it was you. The air thickened, possibility electric. Our hands brushed, intentional now, fingers lacing. No words, just the pull, magnetic, inevitable. His lips met mine soft, tentative, tasting of pine and promise. The kiss deepened, not fire but river, steady, carving canyons over time. We broke apart breathless, foreheads touching. This town's gonna burn us, I murmured. Let it try. His smile was fierce, protective. But fate, cruel jester, had other plans. That night, sirens wailed. Elliot's truck wrapped around a tree on the back road to Jake's. Not his fault. Sideswiped by a Riley rig, brakes tampered, whispers said. Hospital lights harsh, Elliot bruised but breathing, Jake at his side, hand clasped defiant. Jordan roared in, badge flashing, ordering forensics on the scene. This ends now, he vowed, eyes blazing. Tommy denied it, of course, alibi airtight, crew loyal. But doubt seeded, alliances fracturing. As Elliot recovered, the town polarized, supporters leaving casseroles, detractors scrawling slurs on our motel door. Dad visited once, silent tears, a faltering, I'm trying. Mom prayed in the corner, rosary clicking like accusations. Through it, Jordan anchored. Nights on the porch, planning counters, town hall meetings, ally workshops. His touch evolved. Hugs lingering, kisses stolen in shadows, each a rebellion. Love, tentative bloom, rooted in shared scars. Yet tension coiled, serpent-like. Anonymous calls to Jordan. Clean up your mess, or we will. I pushed him to investigate deeper, but caution held him, badge a double-edged sword. The breaking point came midweek, storm raging biblical. A rally at the square, protect our youth, banners waving, Tommy at the mic, venom dripping, deviants corrupting our bloodlines, starting with the Harpers. Crowd murmured assent, fists pumping. Jordan and I stood front, Elliot flanked by Jake and Lena. My pulse thundered, flashback to my exile, the fairground jeers. Then Jordan stepped up, mic snatched, voice booming. Enough, Thomas. I've enforced your fears long enough. But fear's the real deviant here. Alex Harper didn't ruin you. He exposed the rot. And Elliot? He's braver than any of us. Gasps rippled. Tommy lunged, but deputies, quiet allies from group, held him. Jordan continued, unflinching. I'm gay. Have been. Hiding it like a criminal. No more. This town's my home too. And it's time we make room for all. Pandemonium. Cheers from edges. Boos from core. Fists flew. I shielded Elliot as scuffles erupted. A bottle shattered near Jordan's feet, glass spraying. He pulled me close amid chaos, lips brushing my ear. Worth it. Cops dispersed the mob, arrests minimal, warnings mostly. But the damage? Jordan suspended pending review, badge in limbo. We retreated to the mill, rain lashing, Elliot and Jake bunking with Lena. In the dim light, Jordan paced, fury ebbing to fear. Ruin my career. For what? I stopped him, hands on his chest, heart hammering beneath. For us. For truth. You think Seattle wants a small-town sheriff with baggage? This is home, Jordan. Fight for it. He searched my face, then pulled me in, kissed desperate, affirming. Stay? With me. The plea echoed his call, circle closing. I nodded, tears mingling with rain. Yeah, I will. Dawn broke clearer, alliances shifting. Mrs. Delaney organizing counter-rallies, Dad, miracle of miracles, attending a session, grip tentative on my hand. Tommy confessed under pressure, tampered brakes, a lesson gone wrong. Jail loomed, his empire crumbling. Elliot thrived, accepted to Seattle U with a partial ride, Jordan pulling strings with old contacts. Jake followed, their love a quiet beacon. Months on, Eden Falls breathed easier, rainbow flags fluttering beside stars and stripes, the river running warmer. Jordan got his badge back, reformed department with inclusivity training. We built a life. Creaky Victorian on the hill, porch swings for stargazing, his hand in mine unashamed. Love, we'd learned, wasn't absence of storm, but dancing in it, unbroken. Yet echoes lingered, reminders of fragility. One night, phone rang, unknown number, voice slurred with old hate. This ain't over, Hale. Jordan hung up, pulling me close. Let him come. We've got each other. And in that, the real homecoming. Not the town, but the man beside me, regrets forged to strength. The investigation dragged like a thorn in flesh, each deposition peeling back layers of Eden Falls hypocrisy. Tommy Riley sat in the interrogation room, cuffs glinting under harsh fluorescence, his lawyer, a slick Spokane import, whispering alibis that crumbled like dry leaves. Jordan paced outside the glass, his reflection a ghost of resolve, while I waited in the hall, coffee gone cold in my grip. Elliot's accident had cracked the town's facade wide. Tires slashed on Jake's truck next, graffiti on the community center, Sodom's fall. Supporters rallied, but fear festered, anonymous tips flooding Jordan's line, names, grudges, the undercurrent of resentment that had simmered since my exile. You okay? Lena asked, sliding me a fresh cup, her eyes sharp as ever. I nodded, though nausea churned. Just replaying it. If I'd stayed, would have been you in the ICU. She squeezed my arm. This is progress. Messy but real. Inside, Jordan leaned on the table, voice steady. Talk, Tommy. Breaks don't tamper themselves. Tommy's smirk faltered, sweat beading on his brow. Jealousy's a hell of a drug, sheriff. Or should I say ex-sheriff? The jab landed, but Jordan didn't flinch. Your crew's singing. Pete already flipped, said you ordered the lesson after the rally. Homophobe's code for assault. Silence stretched, then Tommy cracked, words tumbling. Resentment from that bonfire kiss. Years of buried shame twisting to rage. You think you're better? Hiding in the closet while I built a life? Jordan's eyes darkened. I hid to survive. You weaponized it. Big difference. By noon, charges stuck. Attempted vehicular manslaughter, conspiracy. The town buzzed. Headlines in the Spokesman Review. Eden Falls unmasked. Hate crime rocks rural heartland. Protests swelled outside the courthouse. Counter slogans clashing. Love wins, banners waving against traditional values, placards. I stood with Elliot and Jake, their hands linked defiant, as Jordan emerged. Uncuffed Tommy in tow, flashes popping. His gaze found mine across the crowd, a nod of quiet victory. But victory tasted bittersweet. Scars don't fade with indictments. That evening, we gathered at the Victorian, Jordan's fixer-upper, walls peeling but bones solid. Dad arrived unannounced, pie in hand from Mom's oven, his face a map of contrition. Heard about Riley. Good riddance. Elliot hugged him tentatively, the air thawing. We ate on the porch, fireflies dancing, stories skirting edges. Dad admitting he'd ignored signs in me. Too scared of Pastor Hale's sermons. Jordan's own father, iron-fisted preacher, who disowned him at 18 for impure thoughts. Jordan stiffened at the mention, fork pausing. Old news. Not to me. Dad's voice softened. Saw you at the rally, son. Jordan. Took guts. The sun slipped, a bridge extended. Jordan met his eyes, throat working. Appreciate it, Harlan. Small steps, but seismic. As night deepened, Dad left with a gruff, proud of you boys, the door clicking like closure. Alone, Jordan and I washed dishes in companionable quiet, suds foaming. His shoulder brushed mine, casual intimacy that still sparked. Think he'll stick. People surprise you. I dried a plate, stacking it neat. Like you. He turned, water dripping from his hands, pulling me into a damp embrace. The kiss was slow, exploratory, tongues tracing apologies, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long separated. No rush, just presence. His fingers in my hair, my palms on his back, feeling the steady thrum of life. We made love that night, gentle, reverent, sheets tangling in moonlight. Not conquest, but communion. Whispers of names, gasps of release, afterglow limbs entwined. Love you, he murmured into my neck, words heavy with truth. Love you too. The admission freed something, chains dissolving. Morning brought normalcy's edge, breakfast scramble, Elliot teasing over comics, Jake sketching logos for a queer youth center. Jordan suited up, badge reinstated with fanfare. A quiet ceremony at the station, deputies clapping his back. Chiefs retiring soon. The mayor confided, handshake firm. Town needs fresh eyes. The hint lingered, possibility blooming. But shadows persisted. Tommy's trial loomed. Witnesses intimidated, old guard grumbling. One deposition, a farmhand cracked under oath. Riley wasn't alone. Pastors in it. Hale Sr., preaching fire but funding the hits. Jordan's face paled, family ties snapping like brittle bone. Reverend Elias Hale, towering pulpit thumper, Jordan's cross to bear. The revelation hit like a gut punch. We'd joked about it, but this? Blood complicity. He stormed the parsonage that afternoon, me trailing uninvited, storm clouds gathering. Elias met us at the door, Bible in hand, face carved from judgment. To what do I owe this prodigal visit? Cut the scripture, Dad. Jordan's voice shook, fury laced with hurt. The brakes, the rally. Your money trail leads straight here. Elias's eyes narrowed, denial forming. Lies from sinners. Proof. Jordan slapped photos down, wire transfers, burner phone logs. You raised me to protect this town, not terrorize it. The Reverend deflated, age lines deepening. To save it. From abominations like you. The slur sliced, but Jordan held. Your abomination's my strength. And I'll testify against you if I must. Elias crumpled, confession spilling. Fear of legacy tarnished. Congregation fracturing under woke winds. I lost you once. Can't lose the flock. You lost me to hate. Jordan turned, shoulder brushing mine, a silent anchor. Goodbye, Dad. We drove in silence, rain sheeting the windshield. At the overlook, he pulled over, head dropping to the wheel. Knew it, deep down. But hearing. I rubbed his back, circles soothing. You're not him. Never were. He lifted, eyes red-rimmed, but clear. Marry me, Alex? The question hung, Impulsive, profound. Laughter bubbled through tears. Hell yes. Word spread. Engagement news a bomb amid scandal. Lena threw an impromptu barbecue. Rain be damned. Tents pitched. Grill smoking brisket. Queerkin from Spokane toasting with IPAs. Elliot DJ'd. Jake's sketches adorning tables. Cartoons of us as superheroes. Capes fluttering. Dad cornered Jordan by the fire pit. Beers clinking. Treat him right, or you'll answer to me. Jordan grinned. Genuine. Wouldn't dream otherwise. As stars wheeled, we danced. Slow sway to an old country tune. His chin on my shoulder. Scared, he whispered. Terrified. Honesty raw. But with you? Worth it. The trial unfolded like a Greek tragedy. Tommy pleading out. Elias taking the stand in clerical robes. Voice booming repentance that rang hollow. Jurors, town folk, faces I'd known since sandbox days, convicted on lesser counts, sentences light but symbolic. Fines, probation, community service at the youth center. Eden Falls exhaled, fractures mending crooked but sure. The center opened with fanfare, ribbon cut by Elliot and Jake, walls alive with murals of intertwined hands, rainbows subtle in evergreens. Jordan proposed proper months later, knee in the treehouse, ring simple silver band etched with coordinates of our meteor spot. I said yes amid laughter, dust motes dancing. Wedding was small, backyard affair, wildflowers and whiskey, Dad walking me down the aisle, tears unashamed. Vows exchanged under oaks, promising storms weathered together. Life settled into rhythm. My design firm remote, Jordan chief by fall, patrols yielding to potlucks. Elliot thrived in Seattle, visits brimming stories, Jake's art gallery buzzed. Yet anniversaries brought reflection, scars faded but traced. One night, post-dinner, Jordan traced mine. Think we'd have found this without the rumor? Doubt it. I kissed his knuckles. Pain's the forge. He pulled me close, love's steady burn. In Eden Falls, weed bloomed, defiant, deep-rooted, unbreakable. Years blurred into seasons, Eden Falls evolving like a river carving new paths. The youth center, now falls forward, hummed with after-school programs. Art workshops where Jake mentored teens sketching their truths, discussion circles led by Mrs. Delaney unpacking family myths. Elliot jetted in weekends, grad school tales laced with city grit, his boyfriend, a lanky coder named Riley, charming the locals with bad puns. Jordan and I settled deeper, renovations turning the Victorian cozy, library nook for my sketches, man cave for his fishing gear. Mornings started tangled in sheets, coffee brewing to birdsong. Evenings ended with porch beers, debating town council absurdities like banning provocative murals. But peace, hard-won, carried undercurrents. Elias, post-probation, faded to fringes, occasional glares at services, but sermons softened, laced with compassion's call. Dad and Mom hosted holidays now, turkey carved with tentative jokes about the boys' misadventures. Healing, incremental. One crisp autumn, trouble stirred anew, not malice, but memory. A journalist from Seattle Weekly pitched a feature, Redemption in the Sticks, how a small-town queer couple remade their home. Flattering, but invasive, cameras probing our treehouse, mics catching Jordan's patrol anecdotes. Feels like exhibit, I grumbled post-shoot, toweling from a shower. He chuckled, towel snapping playful. Means we're legends. The piece dropped pre-Thanksgiving, glossy spreads of us arm in arm at the river, quotes on resilience. Responses flooded. Fan mail from kids in similar towns. You're why I came out. But trolls too. Emails venomous. Fakers profiting off sin. Worse, a letter, handwritten, postmarked Eden Falls. Knew you'd corrupt him, Harper. Time to pay. And signed, but scent of old hymnal, Elias's cologne. Jordan's jaw set, filing it as threat. Dad's watched too many Lifetime movies. But unease gnawed. Patrols doubled near the house. I walked Elliot's old trails with pepper spray. Nights, we held tighter, love a bulwark. Then, the twist, not Elias, but a ghost from my Seattle past. Mark, ex from the city, charming graphic whiz who'd ghosted after a fight, now reformed and relocated for inspiration. He emailed, saw the article. Proud. Coffee. Innocent, perhaps, but when he showed at the diner, lean, latte in hand, smile disarming, doubt flickered. Missed this town, he said, eyeing the pie case. And you? Jordan walked in mid-chat, uniform crisp, expression thunderous. Everything all right. Mark extended a hand, too smooth. Old friend. Heard the good news. Tension crackled, Jordan's grip iron. We extricated politely, but ride home seethed. What's his angle? None. Defensive, those seeds of guilt sprouted. Mark and I had history, passionate but poisonous, ending in screams over commitment fears. Jordan parked abrupt, turning. Don't bullshit me. That look. Jealous. The word escaped, laced with challenge. His eyes flashed. Protective. We've built this, don't let city ghosts topple it. The fight brewed slow. Accusations of naivety, retorts on trust. Doors slammed. I crashed on the couch, staring at ceiling cracks like fractures in us. Morning brought regrets chill. Jordan at the stove, pancakes flipping, voice gruff. Sorry. Insecure bastard mode. I wrapped arms around him, chin on shoulder. Me too. Mark's nothing, just echo. We talked it out over syrup, vulnerabilities bared, his fear of losing me to brighter lights, my terror of small-town relapse. Reconnection was fierce, kitchen counter kisses escalating to bedroom, bodies reaffirming vows. Mark left town soon after, a polite goodbye text. But the scare unearthed deeper. Therapy sessions, joint, unpacking exile's baggage. Dr. Ruiz, a no-nonsense queer shrink from Spokane, guided with gentle probes. What does home mean, beyond place? Answers evolved. Not absence of pain, but presence of choice. Winter blanketed Eden Falls in snow, muffling sins. Christmas brought family fusion. Dad and Mom hosting. Elias invited but absent. His card a stiff peace. We exchanged rings anew. Simple bands upgraded with engravings. Through storms. Elliot announced engagement to Riley over eggnog. Cheers erupting. Jake proposed simultaneously, double joy. The town toasted at New Year's bonfire. Flames leaping as resolutions burned. Spring thawed revelations. Elias's health failing. Cancer, stage 3. Jordan visited alone first. Hospital sterile. Beeps mocking mortality. Why come? Elias rasped, for dripping. Forgiveness. For both of us. Tears tracked the old man's cheeks. Failed you. Thought God demanded it. God's bigger. Jordan's hand covered his, bridge mending. Let me help now. Hospice followed. Jordan shuttling. Me cooking meals Mom blessed. Elias softened in dying. Stories of youth. A hidden journal of doubts. Love for a seminary boy unconfessed. Be free, son, he whispered final days. I wasn't. Funeral packed the church, hypocrites and healed mingling. Jordan eulogized, voice steady. He taught duty. We teach grace. Grief bonded us tighter, loss a lens sharpening gratitude. Summer bloomed weddings. Elliot and Riley lakeside. Jake and a partner in the center's garden. Us officiating both, ties exchanged. Our anniversary fell in harvest glow, ridge trail hike culminating at the viewpoint. Picnic unpacked. Wine, cheese, the ring box holding vows renewed. Still scared? Jordan asked, cork popping. Every day. I clinked glasses. Keeps it real. Love, we'd learned, thrives in tension, twists not endings, but evolutions. Yet autumn winds whispered change. Jordan's chief tenure drawing council eyes. Whispers of progressive overreach. A new candidate, slick outsider promising order, rallied old guard remnants. Election night loomed, stakes personal. We campaigned quiet. Town halls on inclusivity, barbecues bridging divides. Polls tight, tension coiling. Results trickled in, victory narrow, by 17 votes. Cheers echoed station, deputies hugging. But the loser's concession carried barbs. Town's gone soft. Jordan addressed the crowd, arm around me. Soft? Nah. Stronger. Because we choose each other. Homecoming complete. Not flight, but flight's end in embrace. Decades etched their marks softly, like rain on stone. Lines around our eyes from laughter more than tears. Hands veined, but laced familiar. Eden Falls had grayed with us. The youth center expanded to a community hub. hosting pride picnics and veteran coffees. Its marquee reading, "All welcome, always." Elliot ran a nonprofit from Seattle, funneling grants for rural queer havens. Jake's gallery drew tourists, canvases alive with local lore. Jordan retired at 62, badge passed to a deputy mentored in our fires, a lesbian mom with unyielding ethics. "Your legacy," she said, pinning it on. He waved it off, but pride gleamed. Our days filled easy, volunteering at the center, fishing the river where stones skipped smoother with practice, evenings with books or Netflix, his head on my lap. Yet age unearthed ghosts unbidden. One spring, clearing the attic for a yard sale, dust motes in sun shafts, I unearthed the old duffel from my flight. Faded tees, a mixtape labeled Escape Playlist, lyrics scrawled on the case, "Running to You." Jordan found me cross-legged amid relics, tape whirring faint. Nostalgia trap? Time capsule. I hit play, Springsteen's gravelly ache filling the space. This was my armor. He sat, pulling me back against his chest. And now, I twisted, kissing his jaw. "You are." The moment turned tender, but interruption barked. Phone ringing, Elliot's voice urgent. "Alex, it's Dad. Stroke. Get here." Spokane Hospital hummed clinical, Mom pacing hall, face ashen. Dad lay small in the bed, monitors beeping steady, eyes fluttering open to us. "Boys," he croaked, grip weak but seeking. We flanked him, Jordan's hand on mine under the rail. "Rest easy, Harlan." Days blurred, vigils, bad coffee, family orbiting. Elliot flying in, spouses trailing, grandkids peeking shy. Dad rallied slow, rehab a grind. But conversations flowed deeper, regrets aired like laundry, his admission halting. "Pushed you away, Alex. Thought it saved your soul." "Saved mine?" I corrected gentle. "You just got here late." He chuckled wheezy. "Better late." Jordan mediated therapies, his calm a rock. Mom softened further, joining PFLAG calls. Dad discharged to home, us shuttling care, meals prepped, walks supervised. Healing rippled outward. Elias's old church, now Falls Grace, progressive pivot, hosted his recovery circle, Pastor Lena, ordained post-divorce, preaching inclusion. Dad attended sporadic, nodding along. Summer brought milestones. Our 35th anniversary, quiet dinner at the Overlook, stars pricking velvet sky. Jordan gifted a star map, coordinates marked, our constant. Tears pricked. "Cheesy lawman." "Your lawman." Kiss sealed it, enduring. Autumn tested anew, wildfires encroaching, smoke choking the valley, evacuations looming. Jordan coordinated drills, his retired status yielding to instinct. Neighbors bunking our basement, supplies rationed. In the haze, a call from Mark. Yes, that Mark, graying but gallant, now a podcaster on queer histories. Heard about the fires. Offering airtime. Your story could fund relief. Wary, we tuned in remote. Mike's hot, questions probing but kind. "What kept you?" he asked. Jordan glanced my way, smoke-filtered light gilding him. "Love. The kind that weathers." Airwaves carried it statewide, donations surging, firefighters fed, homes rebuilt. Gratitude mail piled, letters from kids, "You gave me courage." Winter quieted, snow blanketing ash-scarred earth. Dad's full recovery toasted at Christmas, wheelchair ditched, toasts slurred sentimental. To family, he raised glass, eyes on us all. Elliot's nonprofit gala followed. Us as honorees, speeches lauding pioneers. Backstage, he hugged fierce. "Couldn't without you." Pride swelled. "Ditto, kid." Spring green tentative, bulbs pushing through soot. We planted a community garden, rows of veggies symbolizing regrowth, kids from the center tilling soil. One dawn, Jordan woke restless, staring at ceiling. Dreamed of the rumor. "You leaving?" I traced his brow. "I'm here." "No." He rolled, facing me. "Just grateful." Words unspoken, mortality's whisper, years tallying. We volunteered more, mentoring couples navigating outs, sharing war stories over tea. A letter arrived and signed, envelope plain. Clippings of our features, circled quotes, note scrawled. Inspiring. From one who fled too. No return, but postmark Seattle, perhaps a parallel life. It lingered, catalyst for a road trip. Us packing the old truck, highway unspooling west. Stops at diners, motels with neon glow, nights talking futures, fears. Seattle gleam changed, tech spires, pride flags year-round. We dined with Elliot, toured his office, but the pull homeward tugged soon. Falls fits now, Jordan said, cascades folding around us. Yeah. Hand on his thigh, steady. We made it. Homecoming layered. Not just place, but people. Us, woven tight. Yet twists linger in twilight years. One fall, council drama. Budget cuts threatening the center. Jordan testified, voice gravel but gold, cut elsewhere. This saves souls. Petitions surged, signatures from farms to forests. Victory again, narrow. Elliot's twins arrived winter. Boy and girl, named after us. Jordan Alexander, Alexa Riley. Cuddles in the rocker, stories spun of tree houses and triumphs. Grandkids toddled the garden, questions bubbling. Papa Jordan, why rainbows? He knelt, soul-caked. Colors of courage, kiddo. I watched, heart full, legacy living. Aging crept, aches in joints, checkups routine. One check, Jordan's verdict. Early Parkinson's, tremor faint but fact. Devastation hit private. Tears in the bathroom, my arms his harbor. We'll fight, I vowed. He nodded, fierce. Together. Therapy started, adaptations seamless, adaptive fishing rods, center ramps widened. Community rallied, fundraisers, meals, visits from deputies long retired. Elliot adapted software for tremor tracking. Jake painted murals of resilient figures. Jordan's hand shook passing salt, but steadied in mine. Still me. Always. Kissed to knuckles, vows renewed. Spring bloomed defiant, garden thriving. We hiked slow, ridge view unchanged. Regrets, he asked, bench creaking. None. Truth absolute. You? Only not sooner. Love's arc. Not straight line, but helix, twist deepening connection. Eden Falls, our forge, gleamed in sunset. Home, hard-earned, eternal. Legacy's weight settled gentle as autumn leaves, but life's script flipped capricious. Jordan's tremor worsened incremental. Forks swapped for wraps, patrols traded for porch vigils, but spirit unbowed, jokes deflecting pity. Just my hands on strike. The rest unionized. I adapted seamless. Freelance gigs flexible, meals prepped one-handed friendly. The center became our anchor, mornings co-facilitating groups, sharing, then and now, tales that drew tears and applause. Elliot's family visited often, twins romping the yard, their curiosity a balm. Grandpa Alex, tell the rumor story. I spun it sanitized, adventure of return, love's triumph. Jordan adding punchlines, his laugh rumble unchanged. Mom passed quiet that winter. Heart giving out post-dad's remarriage to a widow from group, their union a late bloom of joy. Funeral blended faiths, hymns and eulogies, her rosary beside rainbow pins. She came around, Dad whispered, arm around his new bride. Grief shared deepened us, Jordan's arms my haven, whispers, I'm here mantra. Spring sparked renewal, a documentary crew, tipped by Mark's podcast, pitched Echoes of Eden, our saga on screen. Skeptical, we greenlit after vetting. Authentic, not exploitative. Filming invaded cozy. Mics in the kitchen, drone shots of the river. Jordan charmed on camera, tremor visible but voice steady. Hate didn't define us. Choice did. Premiere streamed nationwide. Views viral. Talk shows calling, schools screening. Backlash minimal, drowned in praise. Hope in haystacks. But fame's shadow. A stalker emerged, letters escalating from admiration to obsession. My sheriff, scrawled with hearts, postmarks wandering. Jordan downplayed. Fan mail. Unease prickled. I alerted authorities, patrols circling our block. One night, porch light flickering, figure lurked, woman mid-40s, eyes wild, clutching a faded photo of young Jordan. Back off, he said firm, door cracking. This ain't healthy. She rambled. Townie who'd pined since high school, his coming out betrayal. Cops arrived gentle, crisis team intervening, therapy mandated, restraining order filed. Aftermath shook him. Thought we were past this. I held him through tremors doubled by stress. Monsters hide, but we're mightier. Therapy doubled. Couple sessions unpacking vulnerability's edge. Dr. Ruiz, retired but consulting, probed. Fear's old friend. How do you greet it now? With each other, Jordan answered, hand in mind steady despite shake. Summer healed. Family reunion at the lake. Grandkids splashing, stories overlapping. Dad, spry at 80, grilled burgers, toasting to survivors. Elliot confided private. Fertility struggles with Riley, adoption whispers. We listened, advised from our patchwork path. Families forged, not fated. His thanks tearful, you blazed it. Fall brought Jordan's book deal. Memoir pitched postdoc. Badge and heart, a sheriff's reckoning. Ghostwriter collaborative, chapters raw. Rumor origins, rally stand, love's quiet revolutions. Launch packed the center, signing snaking, faces familiar and new. Tommy's widow attended, tentative handshake. He regretted. Deep. Forgiveness flowed one way. Jordan nodded gracious. Healing's hers. Reviews glowed, royalties funding scholarships. First recipient a trans kid from the res, eyes bright with possibility. Winter tested grit. Blizzard stranded us, power flickering, but generator hummed, stories by candlelight. Tremor peaked cold stiff, but massages eased, our touch language unspoken. Spring thawed mobility aids, cane carved with evergreens, Jordan dubbing it my scepter. Walk slowed, but views savored, ridge bench our throne. One dawn, he woke inspired, road trip. One last big one. We plotted ambitious, cross-country, Route 66 echoes, queer landmarks mapped. Truck packed, twins waving from the porch, adventure. Stops unfolded magic. Diner in Tulsa with rainbow pancakes, Stonewall Bar in NYC for toasts, Grand Canyon Rim for sunsets painting us gold. Nights in motels or camps, fires crackling confessions. Best life, Jordan murmured, stars blanket. With you, echo. Homeward, cascades welcomed, falls unchanged yet evolved. New murals, ally flag standard. Unpack complete, but gift waited. Envelope from Elias's estate, unopened since death. Jordan slid it, letter trembling slight. Son, if you read this, forgive the man who couldn't. You were my greatest sermon, love lived loud. Proud. Tears fell shared. We framed it, mantle sentinel. Summer's heat wave sparked center crisis. AC failed, funds short. Fundraiser brewed, carnival style, booths and bands. Jordan emceed, cane twirling, crowd roaring. Elliot's adoption approved, sibling pair, brown-skinned beauties joining the fold. Baptism barbecue hybrid celebrated, vows of village raising. Fall leaves turned, Jordan's health plateaued, meds tweaking, stability won. We mentored a young couple, fresh-faced like us once. Breathe through the storms. Their thanks, you make it possible. Legacy cycled. Winter's solstice, full moon hike, slow, sure-footed. At Overlook, Jordan knelt awkward, cane propped. Renewal vows? Again. Laughter bubbled. Always. Words reaffirmed, rings kissed, eternal loop. Aging's gift, time distilled, each moment sacred. Eden falls, our crucible, shone, love's enduring forge. Twilight years gifted clarity's prism, refracting past into present gold. Jordan's Parkinson's progressed measured, wheelchair by 70, but wit sharp as ever, quips landing like old badges. I'm the Rolls-Royce of mobility, he'd joke, zipping halls. Our home adapted fluid, ramps smooth, kitchen counters lowered, voice tech for sketches when hands rebelled. Morning's ritual, coffee shared, news scanned, his head on my shoulder, contentment's quiet hum. The center thrived under new director, a non-binary activist we'd mentored, programs expanding to elder support, Jordan guest speaking on aging queer. Audiences wrapped, his stories bridges across generations. Elliot's family swelled, adopted kids thriving, bio twins off to college, majors eclectic, art, activism, astrophysics. Visits chaotic joy, board games marathons, grandkids, now greats, clamoring story time. One gathering, Riley pulled me aside. Your influence. Elliot's the dad he is because of you. Pride swelled. Us. Team effort. Jordan's memoir sequel penned. Storms endured. Focusing resilience. Royalties endowing the center's Hail Harper wing. Launch virtual. Global reach. Messages pouring. Your light guides. But health's tide turned inexorable. Fall diagnosis. My own. Heart murmur escalating to pacemaker candidacy. Matching set. Jordan teased, masking fear. Surgery staggered. His tune-up first, then mine. Hospital gowns swapped like prom dates. Recovery overlapped. Us propped in matching recliners. Remotes battling for classic flicks. Grey's Anatomy lied. I griped, stitches itching. No hot docs. He winked. Got my hot doc right here. Finger gun to me. Laughter healed swifter than meds. Winter brought Elias's journal digitized, grandkid project, scanned for archives. Pages raw, seminary loves lost, sermons masking doubt, final entries pleading grace. Jordan read aloud evenings, voice thick. He hurt, but hoped. Forgiven, I affirmed, hand over his. Spring's renewal, pacemaker humming, wheelchair races in the garden, kids cheering, flowers nodding approval. Council honored us Founders Day. Plaque at the center, ceremony teary. Mayor's speech. Alex and Jordan didn't just survive Eden Falls, they remade it. Cheers thundered. We stood, one assisted. Arms linked, tears unashamed. Summer scorched records, but AC held. Funds bolstered by doc royalties. We hosted Legacy Luau, tiki torches and tales, elders swapping eras. One firelit circle, a great grand. Elliot's line, asked, were you scared, Grandpa Jordan? Every day, Sprout. He ruffled hair. But love? Scarier not to. Fall foliage peaked, annual ridge pilgrimage. Adapted now, electric cart humming path. At viewpoint, picnic sparse but sweet. Sandwiches, wine thermos. Jordan's eyes misted, valley golden below. Full circle. Yeah. I leaned, head on shoulder. Perfect arc. Winter's chill deepened resolve. Joint memoir epilogue dictated. Voices overlapping like harmonies. Publisher eager, timeless, promised. But fate scripted finale poignant. January dawn, Jordan woke short breath. Pneumonia swift, insidious. Hospital again. Tubes and monitors, family orbiting. We talked shallow. Proud. He whispered, oxygen mask fogging. Me too. Grip tight, machines beeping dirge. Elliot arrived frantic, kids hushed. Dad, frail but fierce, prayed bedside. Jordan slipped peaceful, hand in mine, last words love. Always. Grief tsunami, world grayscale, falls muted. Funeral procession Wound River Road. Boats trailing wakes of white lilies. Eulogies wove. Mine raw, he begged me home. I stayed for heaven. Elliot's fierce, dad to us all. Mourners spanned lifetimes. Deputies saluting, center kids releasing balloons rainbow-streaked. Aftermath hollowed. House echoey, porch swing solitary. But legacy pulsed. Jordan's wing dedication drawing crowds. Scholarships named dual. Spring greened without him. Garden wilting then revived. Volunteers tending. His cane a trellis stake. I wrote closure letters. To Tommy's widow, forgiveness sealed. To Elias's ghost, peace granted. To young us, you made it. Elliot moved closer, family buffer, dinners noisy, healing incremental. One dawn, ridge alone, I scattered ashes, winds carrying to river, merging eternal. Miss you, whisper carried. Answer in breeze, love's echo, unending. Years post, I lingered, 90s dawning, heart steady, stories my pulse. Center thrived, great greats toddling halls, asking of the sheriff who loved big. Tell it true, I'd say, voice frail but firelit. Eden Falls, our saga etched, rumor to redemption, hate to hearth. Home, not fled but found, in every twist embraced.